Who would have thought that I'm finally going to show you a template that I set up? User interface template between Open Stage Control and Vimix. Yeah, I didn't, but finally I can. So, what you are able to do from now on is go to this to my little GitHub page. Of course, I'm going to show you the link in the description, and you can download this zip file. Do it and keep in mind where you have it, and I'm going to show you from scratch how you can use it. So, assuming you have installed Vimix like I showed you before, we're going to fire this up. Vimix, there it is. Really from scratch, because yeah, just for the sake of completion, right? So I have a folder, a project folder with just some sources that I'm going to throw in here. So in Vimix we have now these 9 sources, 9 they are, I think, and I'm going to just dispatch them to have them nice and even spread out, and I'm going to create some batches, player window, as a reminder, Control P to open it up. Go to user selection. This is what you have selected. These two, I'm going to create a batch out of these two. I'm going to create a batch out of these two. And I'm going to create a batch out of these. So user selection and create a batch. This will give us 3 batches. And don't forget to save. Every time, this is somehow important, every time you create batches or you throw some additional sources in here, you should save this project to make all the sources and batches available in the template. Okay, I'm going to call this, just for the sake of this tutorial, OO, save it, and we should end up with this file. And just so we have the full ability of the template, I'm going to copy this a few times in here and calling it 01, 02, 03, and 04, that we have something that we can work with. So I think this would be a project folder that maybe some of you have, some sources and these mix files. Remember, if you remember where you downloaded the template to, you would just grab it and paste it in here. This is a zip file. GitHub always delivers zip files, so extract it to here, but be careful, it has to be on the, you can delete that, it has to be on the root folder of your project. So just paste them next to the mix files. You can safely delete the README, the license, the old folder, and you would end up with this 2 folders or C assets, not too much in here, and this routing tables I'm going to explain later on. For the moment, just keep in mind it is there. So these 3 files are the most important ones. It's a JavaScript module that Open Stage Control needs, and this UI. UI client is something I'm going to explain later, but these 2 files are important for the moment. We are going to open Stage Control, and as you can see, there's already some data in here. You can safely ignore the MIDI setup. I think you have seen it in a previous tutorial when it comes to MIDI. Ignore it for the moment, but I'm going to show you later on, also later on, yeah. There's actually a lot that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you later on how you can set up your MIDI device with this template. Yeah, it's going to be nice, I swear. So keep in mind for the moment that you set up the port with 7001. Maybe I'm just going to show you the JS module for a moment, because there is something important. Remember that Vimix has also a port that is receiving something, and this is where you set it up. So go to this little birdie, Vimix, and then to settings, and there you have it. So the port in of Vimix is 7000 at the moment, and 7001 is the port out. So remember, 7001 is port out, so it's sending directly to Open Stage Control. So this should be the same, port out, and here the port of Open Stage Control. And in this JS file, in this OSC module JS at the very beginning, there it should say something very similar. You could set this. This is actually the host string. This is the IP of your computer. Could be localhost, but to be safe, just set it up to your IP. And there, the port string, it's called, should be the same as Vimix port in. So keep that in mind. Change that to your needs, but it has to be like this in Open Stage Control 7001 and the port out, and in the OSC module the port in of Vimix. Okay, I'm going to close that, and now we are going to tell Open Stage Control to load these two files from startup. So grab your path, paste it in here. So it's the path, not to Vimix, right? It's the path to your project folder. So get the path, paste it in here 2 times, and then I'm sorry, I have a cold. And then grab this name of the UI file, OSC UI of the JSON file, and copy that into here at the very end. And the same goes for the module. Copy the name and paste it in at the very end of the custom module field. So let's go to the end, paste it, and then you are good to go. Start up. So yeah, I know. So this is the very first view. Another thing to set this up right in the very beginning, go to the settings tab, Control E to bring up the editor, then mark this input field here where it says your Vimix project path here. So basically you could just paste the path in. Well, no, the path, we need the path. You could paste it in here and press enter, but for a more permanent solution, that every time you start up Open Stage Control with this file, with this UI, I suggest you mark this and go to value and paste your path into here. Press enter, get rid of the editor. Just for the sake, do it once more. As you can see, the little note says that the file has been saved, which means not Vimix is saved, but this OSC UI JSON file. So from now on, every time you fire up Open Stage Control with this file, it will automatically set your project to this path. Okay, so from now on, what we should be able to see now from now on is in this little drop down exactly the files we created, the mix files. And this is where the fun begins. So if we open this up, you can already see that Vimix is loading the file. Oh, there's a little bug, okay. I can tell, yeah, maybe we do this again. I can tell that if you disturb Vimix here at the right moment, it will stop the loading process. From time to time this happens, but if you just don't do anything in the GUI of Vimix, it will happily load everything. So go back to the first session we created and have a look at the user interface. So ignore these two up here. These are only about how many sources and batches have been detected. You could set this up manually if you're not loading a project file via this dropdown. You could set it up manually. I want to have sources here. But since we're using this one, this will automatically fill in, so just ignore. The most important switch here, I would say, is this one. You could switch the addressing, how Vimix sources are addressed. So this would mean either by index, by batch. You could address all of them at once. The current one with a selection here. You could say by selection, what would mean select something here, even more than one, maybe 3, and control them by this here. What, didn't it? Oh, well, it does. Okay, sorry, I thought it was just taking 2 of them. No, it doesn't. Or you could address them by name. If you grab a name, if you grab a source by its name, like this one, you could type it in here, press enter. This is very important. Don't forget to press enter if you are entering something in these text fields. Only then it will work. So this one is called Höhenmesser. This is the name, and now we can control it. So as you can see, this is a fader for the alpha values, and I'm going to start by looking at the index. These are the faders for all for all sources that are detected. So if we get rid of the player, we can see this maybe a little better. I have some space problems here. So as you can see, everything is moving, and you even have more banks. So if these 8 rows are not enough, there's another bank. For the moment, these are nine sources, so there will be another one in this second bank. Third bank is empty for now. You can change the amount of sources that are shown here in the settings tab by changing this number. So you could even say, well, I want to see 5, then it changes. Banks are filled. Nice. Just to see that third bank is working, I'm going to type in 3. This should 9 sources divided by 3 should be 3 each. Perfectly. This works. Okay, but since my MIDI controller has 8 columns and 1 master, I'm used to work with 8s with this 8 sliders next to each other, so I'm leaving it like that. And the same goes for batches. So you remember that we created hopefully not more than 3 batches. Let's have a look in Vimix. 1, 2, 3 batches perfectly synced. Okay, this works. Nice. Just a quick run through these sliders, or let's call it slider. Actually, it's only one. It's only changing the address. You can control all of them at once. Or yeah, as I said, the current means the current that is marked here. You can mark them by this little switch here. Okay, or by selection and name. Let's go back to index, and I'm going to explain these buttons. So the very first one, maybe in the background, you can see that this is called CC, like color correction on off, and this is exactly what these buttons do. So if we grab I just want one at the moment. Let's grab this this little fire here and maybe get rid of this. We don't need this. This is the output window for the moment. Let's have a look at the fire and bring this up here in the GUI. And there you can switch on and off, turn on and off the color correction. The little knob underneath controls a feature of the color correction, and the feature of your choice can be set here. Contrast, bright, whatever. At the moment we're on brightness. Okay, so nice. With the double click you can reset this. Also the brightness, and we're good to go. This is for every source, even if you can see it now. It will activate or deactivate the color correction. Okay, next row would be, oh yeah, I like this one. So I'm going to set these off for the moment. I like this one. This is a little flash button. So whatever you're doing in your show, you could actually just flash some of your sources very quickly by this button. There's another setting for it. As you can see, hopefully, it somehow flashes out over time. So this amount of time can be set here. Let's go with a third of this. Should be way quicker if we do it now. Perfect. Keep in mind that all of the timer settings, so when it comes to transitions or some animations, it's in milliseconds. So this would mean 50 milliseconds. The only exception is this one. This field is in seconds. So if you are changing, if you are switching to another project file, or let's call it mix file, Vimix file, you can set the duration, the transition duration with this one, but keep in mind that this is not milliseconds, it is in seconds. Okay, so this was the flash button. I like this one. Let's have a look at the fire again, and there you can set play pause with this button. At the moment it's activated, so it's playing. So if I deactivate it, it stops playing. Perfect. The other thing is this slider that is connected to these input fields. So you could either set the values by hand here with these two input fields, or with the slider. And what gives you here is a start point and an end point for some automatic fade in and fade out. So let's say we want to fade in from 0.1 whatever to 1, the first clip. You could do it with this button. As you can see, up to 1. If I go higher on the out point, it will just fade to point whatever it is, 0.5, or not even to the whole way up, just a little bit, and all the way down. Okay, this works nice. I'm going, no, not for now. All the functions are available for the batch also for all of the clips. As you can see, color correction on off, control the color correction, reset the color correction. This is additional. You cannot reset them here, but oh well, you can reset all of them here, even over time. So let's say you yeah, let's do it. Let's say, oh, it's not working. Okay, nice. Little bug, whatever. I think you get the idea. If I go to AI, it's this one. Can I not? Oh, it's not working. Okay, I have to look into that. Normally, you could just turn the color correction on and off here, and then reset it over time. Not possible at the moment. I don't know why. But I will fix it, of course. Nothing much here in the all category, addressing a current one. So let's say we are with this one, with this exploding Earth. Let me get rid of everything else, but this one, exploding Earth. And let's bring up the player, and I can show you what these buttons are for. So Earth. Exactly. So now you can see the timeline and it's running. So you can play and pause. You can even change the play speed. So set to 1, we'll set it to 1. If you change it, set it to something else. It's just the play speed. It's a multiplication actually. So this would be something like 237% of the original speed. And this is also an animation over time. So it just does not jump to this value. It goes over time. It's a little animation that is controlled by this amount. Okay, so let's change the speed. As you could see, it slowly slows down to this 0.86 that we set up here. Okay, fast forward is another feature. You could just say for how long it should do a fast forward. Yeah, just for a nice effect. Or you could jump in the timeline of your clip to a certain point. So this is in percent. Depending on the length of your clip, you could always jump to the same point back. Okay, so besides the color correction, everything is working so far. I explained nearly everything on this tab. Only the master fader is left, so let me get rid of the player that you can see. Watch this knob here. So this is kind of a master fader to go to black. Watch this knob and the output window. You can see that it's just a master fader going to black if you finish your show or whatever. This one can also be controlled with an animation button. So master auto fade, it's again the same value as here. Fade to black over this amount of time would mean it goes black. Perfect. Okay, this was it for the moment. I'm going to be back in a second with the next tabs, features and whatnot. So stay.